So, welcome back to United Irvine, and here we have Houston has a problem.
That's me.
Not at all, no problems today. We've got Marilyn Houston and Elma Campbell from Girdle Toll Worship Centre. And we've just been chatting about your involvement at Girdle Toll and how long it's been. We're not certain how long exactly it's been, but it's been a fair time. It's over 3 decades, maybe even 4. And tell us a bit about your journeys to and in and through and where we are just now at Girdle Toll. About yourself, Elma.
Initially, I was a member of the Congregational Church in Colwinning, and that's where my family was. I always went to church, Bible class, youth group, choir, blah blah, always involved in the church. And when my daughter was born in '86, I wanted her to be part of the church family. So we moved to Girdle Toll, and I wasn't quite sure what church to go along to, and I thought, well, I'll just go to the local church. At that time there was the farm building. It was initially a church building, so I plucked up the courage, got Heather ready, and off we went on Palm Sunday, and we've never looked back since, really. We've always been going to Girdle Toll for as often as we can go.
Fantastic.
Hopefully every week. But that's where my journey started, and it's just taken that leap of faith. I think God probably directed me on that day to say, right, come on, Elma, get yourself out the door and take a leap of faith into the door. And I got a warm welcome, and Heather joined the Sunday school that day, and we never really looked back after that. So
and you're in with the bricks now, so you're involved in what different things?
Initially I was just the Girls' Brigade. I went to church and I got involved in all the church activities, and at that time we had quite a vibrant church, lots of children, and there was always lots of things going on. Coffee mornings, coffee days, charity things, sponsored walks, car treasure hunts. It was really a vibrant, place to be in the community, and the church played a big part, I think, in the community, in the schools and things. Because I am a nursery teacher, at that time, the lady who was taking Girls' Brigade, she kind of got wind of this and said, would I like to come and help her? Because Heather joined, when she went to school at 5, she went to Annick Primary, and folk kind of got wind of, oh, this lady works with the youth, she's done cubs and things. So I just put my foot in the door, and that was it, you're pulled in, and that was it. But I'm glad I did, because it's been a very happy journey, and lots hope to come in the future, so as part of United Irvine. So yes,
it's lovely to see the Girls' Brigade and the way it has clearly blossomed, and seeing the leaders that you've nurtured and developed and grown, and who are taking responsibilities now, and clearly the fun that and enjoyment that the kids have, the youngsters have. It's
really part of a family, Neil. I think, as part of the church has always taken us on, and encouraged the girls, encouraged myself, and all they do. And so that's a lovely feeling, that you're part of a bigger family. And I've always encouraged my girls and their families to become part of that family, if possible. So it's nice when the families get on board. Church activities.
Lovely. And Marilyn, tell us a wee bit about your journey and how you came to Girdle Toll and your involvement now.
I initially grew up going to St Andrew's Church, joined the church with John Taylor, and when I left the house I moved up to the Girdle, and I joined the church then, which at that time was in the wooden hut. Chris's claim to fame is she's the only minister that said, don't wash your football boots in here.
Fond memories of Chrissy Lane.
Yes, very much so. And again, a very welcoming church, and it is almost like a family. Chrissy done a service once, and it was like hands round the world and pulling in to people, and I've always found that I've had, a couple of instances in my life, and I do feel the church has pulled in with me. I do volunteer at the food bank. I don't put my name down for a lot of things because I've got a lot of other things going on, but I do try, when possible, to volunteer for the different things. I do the food bank, but...
Yes, tell us a bit about the food bank and how that works and connects with people.
Well, the food bank is there for people that, for whatever circumstances, need a bit of help and support, and it's there for them. They can come along. They have it. They contact the various departments, and they're given vouchers to come along, and we do our best to provide as much of the essentials, and if I've got the extra, then we'll give them a wee bit extra here and there when we can. We're very, very fortunate in the people that donate to it from other churches, out with our own as well as our own, and it's always, when you have people coming in for whatever reasons, there's various reasons for them coming, which we don't delve into, but we know that they need the help, so we try and do that for them. And if they need a cuppa and a wee chat at the same time, then we'll do that.
Yes, what days does that happen? When's it run?
It's on a Monday afternoon between 2 o'clock and 4, and on a Friday between 4 o'clock and 6 o'clock. And they're welcome to come along at any point.
That's good. Yeah, so after the weekend and at the start of the weekend, it's clearly times when often folk are strung out and needing some assistance, and I've spoken to people who have appreciated being able to come around at these times, and the friendliness and the welcome and the support. That it's not just food, it's an ear, it's a caring presence. Yeah, fantastic. And of course there's the ability to join in, to volunteer with that, and to give foodstuffs as well, that our finances towards that. And it's a part of the wider caring community of Irvine, isn't it?
That's right.
Along with the food larders and other food banks. Good. And I know that we're just touching the tip of the iceberg here, or the tip or the surface, because I know you're involved in lots more. I want to hear more about Girdle Toll and what's happening, what you've been involved in. Elma, you've been involved with the schools and helping us to connect with some of the schools that you've already been involved in. Tell us a wee bit about connection with the schools and some of the services that you bring folk along to.
It's lovely to be involved with the young people, because young people are my passion. I love working with the youth, right up to teenagers. And I always said it would be because of my background in schools around North Ayrshire, I had that extra help, where I could connect with young people. So in the North Ayrshire, we have obviously 3 schools in the area now. We've got the new Montgomery Park, which I connected with last year, and we went along and visited the teaching staff.
So Jamie
there.
and yourself have been along and
we're going next
making good
Monday,
connections.
Yeah. So that was lovely to get hooked up with Montgomery Park as well as Alnwick and Lawthorne Primary, which was where I was. That's where I was based, when I worked in the nurseries there. So it's just nice to be in amongst the youngsters and feel the vibrancy, feel, I don't know, they just make you feel alive. You might feel the morning, I can't be bothered getting up. But once you step foot in and you get that vibrancy of the young folk, I think that just lifts your spirits and it takes you back, and you automatically, in my case, I think I automatically transport myself into a kind of classroom type of environment, you know. So I feel very at home in the schools, Neil. So it's really lovely to have the assemblies, you know, set up in United Irvine. We have that connection going. But we've had some lovely, over the past few years, we've had some lovely services in the church, you know, at various festivals. Sometimes they come along to, for example, the Women's Guild. They love to see the youngsters come along, so they've been, youngsters from Lawthorne and Alnwick have been along and entertained us at Burns time and so on, and that's been great. So you know, you've got young and older folk hooking up, and it's great. And then of course the services themselves, we've had the schools use the building in a lot of the cases, so they've maybe had their harvest service, or they've had their Easter, or you know, a Christmas service in the school, and that's an open invitation to them, you know, that I always say, please come along. If you want to use the building, you're very welcome. Just let us know what your date is, so on. But yeah, there's always been a lovely connection between the schools and our building. I think the teachers know that there is a welcome in the door for the children. They're always made, you know, a cheery place to be, and the children feel at ease. I think that's a good feeling, isn't it? It's a right nice feeling when you think, well, they're happy to come along.
Yes, and I'm sure we've got the aspiration to see children's work established again.
Hopefully, yeah.
Yes, to help the younger people grow up in the faith and come to faith. And there's Messy Church as well. Yeah,
I've been involved with Messy Church.
Tell us a wee bit about what Messy Church is, because not everyone listening will know what Messy Church is.
Okay, well, I don't know the ins and outs of it all, where it, you know, where it came about. No. So I got involved through Vicky Harper, who was very, she laid the foundations. We had an outreach group of 3 ladies, Elma Norwood, myself and Vicky Harper, who did all the sort of social events and the children's events and the Messy Church and all that, and the food bank, of course. Vicky set it up 13 years ago in Girdle Toll, and it's been going since. So I got involved with the outreach group, and as part of the Girdle Toll 3 that we were called, and anybody else that wanted to come on board and help us. So I didn't know anything about North Ayrshire Food Bank. I didn't know anything about Messy Church, but Vicky had done her homework and she laid out the foundations, and we just got along on board to give her help. So Messy Church, I thought, what's Messy Church? You know, that sounds a bit like paint going everywhere, which it can be. But I think it's just to encourage families to come along on a day that's not a Sunday. And in our case, it was the first Friday of the month. So we had a good few families came along from the services, like the Girls Brigade and so on, Boys Brigade initially, kids in the church, and then their families came along. They were welcome. So it's just really, it was maybe a wee Bible story. There was always a theme going. Like the theme just now would be harvest if it was this time of year. So there was always a Bible story, choruses, dances, just getting the kids involved with all the art activities as well. So it was a fun night, and the end of it was a sit-down meal where we sat down together as a family, and we prayed, and you know, we had our meal together. So it was a lovely thing to be part of, I think, the Messy Church. And then I don't know what happened. I sort of got uninvolved for a short period of time. Can't recall why, but then my husband and I went back to help with the food side of things, because the women were looking for help for somebody to be in the kitchen. So George and I just kind of fitted that bill. Whatever hat we can put on, we'll go, kind of thing. So we're not involved with it now. Obviously, George's health's not that great, or mine. So this year we're not going to be involved. But I'm always going to be there on tap, you know, to try and help them if they need help.
And
it's still going.
It's a work that continues.
Still continues
maybe
on.
4 times a year, sort of thing, and is also working Muir Relief and Dreghorn Springside.
Yes,
So
they
we've got
have it,
3 messy churches,
Yes,
which is encouraging, and it helps us to connect with people who are maybe beyond the normal run-of-the-mill services, and help folk take steps closer to Jesus.
Yeah, and a lot of our people that came along were in church as well, so it was nice just to bring them closer, you know, to
Yes,
to the
there's something
faith.
about eating together and
Well,
playing
absolutely.
together
It's
and
lovely
praising
time.
together. Yeah, that's marvellous. And Marilyn, you mentioned earlier there about times in your life when church has been that family to you, that support, that encouragement, that comfort and courage. Can you don't need to go into details, but can you tell us a wee bit about that? Because that's really at the heart of what Jesus is about, isn't it?
Absolutely. And it strengthened my faith so much to know that I had this, and it has been a family, and I feel connected to a lot of people through the church, and they've got me involved in other things and things like that. I took exceptionally ill one particular time, and I landed up in hospital, and I was in hospital for 4 months. But the children still went to Sunday school and all the rest of it, and then it was announced that I was getting home, and it's led to believe half the church was in tears at the time. It was a family, you know, and I was coming back into it, and I've always had that support. I then had another time, and it was when my daughter had a horrific accident in Turkey, and again, you know, first people I phoned was the church, and the prayers went out, and my daughters had been doing a tour of the world, and they were praying for her in my own church. I had family down in Wales, and their pastor had went back to Ghana, I think it was, and he set up a charity. Kathy still spoke to Chrissy Lane's sister out in America, and they were praying, and it was things like that, and people that they had met, and all these different prayer groups round the world. And again, I go back to that service of hands round the world. I could feel it from
the power of it.
The power of it from everywhere, and we're all fine, and you know now, but never forgotten, and all the help and support that we've received right through.
Your faith really strengthened and encouraged.
Very much so, very much so.
It's often through the difficult times that our faith is exercised and hopefully strengthened. Yeah,
it was definitely strengthened, you know, through these times. It was so strong, and my prayers were answered, you know.
That's right. A people of prayer and care that you've experienced and are a part of.
I think the fact that it was all round the world, you know, in remote places, you know, Australia, Canada, America, everywhere. It was all round the world. So the faith is there all round the world.
What a comfort and encouragement, blessing, lovely. And Elma, you're a musical person as well. I see you singing in the choir there, and
I'm not in the choir.
Oh, you're not in the choir. So you just sit.
I just sit and sing, stand and sing. I've always been musical. Always been in. It was a musical family. Ours, and Mum played piano. Dad sang only at New Year. He was quite a shy guy, but he had a beautiful tenor voice. And my sister, my brother was Scottish champion side drummer at age 11, and my sister played. She was a flautist. I played the accordion because my mum loved Jimmy Shan. I didn't get you're getting an accordion, and that was that. But I was self-taught, taught myself, and but I've always been involved in school choirs, and then solo parts as well. So yeah, I love to sing. And the great thing is in church, I just love to sing out, praises. I just love that, Doesn't matter whether they're old favourites, modern, I just love to sing. Sometimes George shuts his ears off, but I do.
And that's
love
one of the
music.
things that I love coming to worship the good people of Girdle Toll is that readiness and the willingness to join in with new as well as old, and there's a real sense of joy and joining in.
We like a challenge, Neil.
Yes.
And it's good to have the modern praises, because I mean, we listen to Premier Praise Radio all the time, so I get familiar with all the the new hymns.
Yes.
And maybe people are not so familiar, but we love that radio station, and we just kind of tune in to all the new.
Yes.
So you're doing your housework about the house and having a wee bop at the same time. But I tend to pass that on to the children because they can akin with that type of praise. So it's good to teach them the new praise songs.
And there's a lovely way that the building works in the service and then overflowing into the hall next door, isn't there?
That's right.
And it's really important that cup of tea or chinwag afterwards, isn't it, Marilyn? Yeah.
Absolutely. Because you're getting to know people even more. It's again, I know I keep saying it's a family thing, but it's like a family, you're going in and you're sitting down, you're having your cuppa and all the rest of it. It's and connecting with everybody, and anyone new coming in, there's always people that are going to go straight over and go,
welcome,
welcome, how are you? And we can help both in the church and when we go through for a cuppa, we always, haven't seen that face before, let's go over.
Or somebody sitting on their own, or sitting, so come and join us, so it's
looking out for folk. That's good. That's really great. And looking forward with hope and prayer, what are your aspirations, what are your hopes and dreams for Girdle Toll, for United Irvine?
I think it's part of a big family in Irvine. It's been lovely over the past few years before we became a United Church. Always had a nice connection with the other churches. The ladies probably of the guild through the guilds, Irvine guilds, but myself through the Girls Brigade and Boys Brigade companies. But not only that, we invited a lot of the churches to our Songs of Praise evenings and things like that, and if we had anything, we would put the invite out to the churches in Irvine to come along. So it's been nice to get to know people from Dreghorn and Springside, from Fullerton, St Andrews. It's been just a great experience, to meet new faces. And the St Andrews people have fitted in, the ones that are coming. They've fitted in very nicely, and they've said to me, myself, we do feel part of Girdle Toll now, that we get that warm welcome when we come in the door. And I think that's important for us as a church, that people do feel welcome, they do feel warmly to be part of the church family. And I think that is very important, because if we're not welcoming, folk are not going to want to come back, are they? So we really need to make them feel part of the whole family of the church. But, a lot of faces I've known through the music, through Dreghorn Musical Society, because I was initially involved with that years ago when it was set up, in 1992. So I know a lot of the Dreghorn and Springside folk because they were in the musical society with me, and I've just kind of kept that connection with them. So it's been nice, but it's easy. I'm quite like Marilyn. She's a free and easy, friendly. I like meeting people. That's what I'm all about. I'm quite a social person, me. If I see folk having a good time, that just lifts my spirits. And often at the wee hatch where we serve the teas, George and I would stop for a minute and just think, listen to that sound, you
Yeah.
know. People, aren't they, Marilyn? They're
Yes,
chatting away,
very
they're
much so.
laughing, and
Good
it's
buzz.
just such a great buzz in the hall. And I think we felt it after COVID,
Yes,
you know,
very
where the
much.
churches were
Yeah.
closed, and just to feel that again, it brought us to tears, actually, just to, because we really missed, although you're worshipping online and following it all the different services online, and you think, gosh, I really miss being in the building and having that face-to-face connection with people. So it's a great feeling just to be
Yes.
back amongst them.
Yes, it's
Oh.
great, and it's good that you mention our brothers and sisters from St Andrews. Of course, there was the linkage, and then the union with United Church, and there's been heartbreak with their buildings,
Yes,
of course, that have not
Yeah.
been able to be used, and it is good that there's a good number of folk who
Yeah,
have come from
yeah.
St Andrews and are
Yeah.
involved, and as you say, have become a part of the community, the family of faith, and we're grateful that there, some have gone to other churches, and we pray for those who've not gone anywhere that they
Yeah,
will
they'll
find somewhere
somewhere,
that they can worship and witness and work together with God's people. But it's lovely to hear about the warmth and the vision as well, the desire to connect with our community and to share and serve through the various opportunities, the food bank, the Girls Brigade, the schools, and there are lots of groups that use the buildings as well for different
Community
things,
groups,
and community groups, and so yes, Lord Jesus, lead on and
Absolutely.
open people's hearts and help us to connect more and more and grow the church of today and tomorrow. Thanks.
Amen.
So, amen. Thanks so much for joining us, Marilyn and Elma, and do subscribe to United Irvine podcast and share it with others, and tell us who you'd like to hear from as well. So thanks so much for tuning in, friends. Go well.